So folks, it is that time. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. It can mean only one thing. It's time for Isolation's Reached Sunday Nighter. I'm not sure if I've adjusted the brightness on this cam or not. I'm not sure. I've forgotten now if I've done that at the start of the show. I don't think I did it because I was watching it. I was rushing around. So, come on, Bob, let's get you fixed. Shocking, eh? Luckily, I'm getting a dab hand at this malarkey. And the colour balance looks, that's okay. That's a little bit better. There you are. Not so bright. I'll tell you what, it is bright in here though. It's very bright. I know it was very bright. To be truthful, yeah, I can only stay in here for so long with the brightness. Yeah, one of the lights is okay. Two, Tanzin's saying that brightness looks good. What I really need to do is watch it. See, my problem is, you know, I'm looking at it at my monitors, and when it goes through YouTube, it goes through compressions and stuff like that. And when all this drama has calmed down, I'm going to revisit live shows and just fine tweak them. But to be perfectly honest, other than us waiting for our third cam, yeah, which we are still waiting for, hasn't been dispatched yet, thank you, Amazon, we're just watching it. It's all right. I think we've got the stream. That's better. You have colour in your face. Afraid of the light already, Mel? I'm missing the light, to be perfectly honest. I'm doing obviously to minimise things. I like going out in the evening, you know, and I just walk around on my local roads and stuff where no one is. Yeah, and, you know, just the freshness and the coolness of the air. And I can start to tell being locked up with dry air and that sort of stuff is starting to get to my throat. Yeah, Dan, I need to calibrate my my monitors. To be perfectly honest, it's a job that's on the job list. Now, Sunday night it is a question and answer show, and that's my main focus tonight. Here to help you with your terrain. And we forgot the hell yes as well. It's a Sunday nighter. We'll let it drift across. It's because I rushed into it. If you're wondering why I rushed into it, I burnt my toast for my tea, and then I had to re-nuke my soup, and then I got some on my top, and I had to get a fresh top. I see my Jason in the room. Hello, Jace. My room, every day my room looks smaller. Shall we have a chat? I think tonight, I know we normally do our chats, but I think in the current situation, yeah. So you're a nighttime street walker. Interesting. Thanks, Jimmy. More idiots out. So, okay, let's start this show off and do it properly. So, obviously, we've done the introduction. Yes, this is a question and answer show. There's no Google Doc on this one. Yeah, just if you've got a terrain-related question, tap it in the comments, yeah, and I will see it because I'm mainly focused in on chatting to you guys tonight. Back to the build proper tomorrow. Yeah, but I need a few bits to sort the build out, so got to go on a little adventure jolly. Right, in the meantime, yeah, that's the technical stuff. We are still waiting for the other technical stuff. Now, I've decided next technical upgrade bit of kit that we might as well raise for is rechargeable batteries and a wireless mic setup. Now, we're getting great audio on this mic, but yeah, I'm thinking in the studio, I tend to move around quite a lot. If you know what I mean, like loads. You see me, I'm all over the place. So working on a wireless mic setup would be better. Yeah, now we've off Nottingham Board Games. He's given me a recommendation. I will find it very quickly. Yeah, get your merch links ready, Jace. I'll go very quickly. Yeah, how do I do this? I'll save that. Where do I save it to? Save it to desktop. There you go. Right, I'll save that for a minute. Right, right, lists. Where's my TT Technicals list? Link down below, folks. Yes, rechargeable batteries. They're not cheap. Lee, my photographer mate, yeah, he says I've got to go with these ones specifically because they're brilliant. Yeah, one loop or something like that. And a loop. Yeah, and then the the wireless sets aren't available yet, but they are going for approximately 120. So that's our target. Now, we did have 50 quid yesterday. Yeah, now some of it, we did a 50 quid and a tenner. Yeah, so I'm keeping the tenner. Yeah, because the 50 quid was for booze money, and I can't do that. That's not right. LiPo batteries would probably be good for wireless microphones. Well, these are looking at the microphones, looking at the batteries I'm looking at. You know, they've got a nice long I mean, they've got 1,000 milliamp charge, which is a decent rating for a battery. And they need to be rechargeable batteries. They need to be rechargeable because if I'm using a wireless mic set that's battery powered, I'm going to be churning through batteries. So it makes sense just to invest in rechargeable ones and get a proper decent set of proper rechargeable batteries of AAAs and AA's, and then a decent, battery charger for them so they're not overcharged or anything like that, because in the long run it will save you the most money. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So total 180, I reckon 50 in, 130 to go. We'll see how we go. There is no rush, but the links are down below. If you go for the Streamlabs one, you'll get a dingling on screen. Obviously, we have the merch. We have the Pammy merch. Yeah, the Pammy's merch is looking good. Have I still got... That's the keep calm. Right, is this Pammy? They are. There's one Pammy merch. Yeah, although I do like the latest, and the links are... Jace will be throwing up the links in the moment. Adipose, not saying they will be fine, but always keep a pack of Duracell in the drawer. Also remember to add a poster to your door saying turn mic off before going bathroom. That's a wise idea. Especially on live shows. You need a charger that deep cycles the battery so it prolongs the life. Well, it's an intelligent charger, so... And it's got like 600 brilliant ratings, so I reckon it's got to be something. Right. Pammy time. Yes, folks, it's Pammy, the Pandemic Panic Panda. So... Right, we're in Groundhog Day here in the UK. This is the bit of the show where we just have a bit of a natter about what's going on in the world, so we can just have a bit of a sensible talk, because a lot of the world ain't making sense at the minute. Yeah. Pandemonium. That's brilliant. Right. So, what's going on in the world? Well, there seems to be a bit of competition over equipment. Yeah, and that's a vibe I'm getting with a couple of politicians losing their pants with other politicians. Yeah, can we just get a little bit more coordinated that globally? You know what I mean? Yeah, I think ultimately, I've seen in a few broadcasts, both in the US and in the UK. Yeah, because I watch both. With being a YouTuber, I like to keep an eye on what's going on in the US. And also, I've got a lot of friends over there. A lot of friends in the US, so it is concerning to me, the state of America and, how quickly they've risen, shall I say. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of blaming, a lot of that sort of stuff. Not a big fan of that, to be perfectly honest. I'd just rather, work together, and hopefully they will start to work together. In the UK, big jump of deaths again today. Yeah, I was watching the New York feed and they're suggesting they might, they've got 1 day of deaths and admissions and that sort of things and intubations going down. Yeah, but obviously you can't establish anything by one day's data. You've got to go over 3 or 4 days and see a trend. Yeah. Hell yeah, here I am. Greetings from Germany. Hello, mate. When will the bars be open in the UK? Chips and curry, Weatherspoons. That ain't going to happen anytime soon. I mean, realistically, if we look at like the flow of time, yeah, we're going to be into May before we're looking at getting out of lockdown, but social distancing measures are still going to apply. I mean, they might let us out, but everything that we were supposed to do before they had to lock us down is still going to be applied, and that means pubs are shut. Yeah, they're not going to let us go to concerts. They don't want another spike. The whole point of this lockdown is to calm everything down, slow it down, and then let people out slowly. Lovely to see that you look real healthy again, Mel. I feel real healthy, to be perfectly honest. I think I was lucky because I'm actually in a bizarre situation. Yeah. Yes, I'm stroking the panda. In a bizarre situation, yeah. Because I had a bit of a chest problem and that sort of stuff, yeah, when I first moved into this house at the start of the year. You know, just basically overdoing it, getting it ready for the kids and blowing myself out. And getting hit by the seasonal flu and all that sort of stuff. It took me a while to build myself back up, as you saw on the live streams, you regular guys. But it meant I got really comfortable, yeah, being in 4 walls on my own and that sort of stuff. So when this lockdown came along, it was like, I could do this. That's why I immediately moved my streaming stuff back home, yeah, because I did want to stream from the studio, but I just thought, I can do this. You know what I mean? So actually... other thing is, you know, Mel's got a bit of an army tinge to him. Yeah, so the moment Mel heard field hospitals mentioned in Italy those many moons ago, yeah, Mel stocked up, Mel prepped, know what's coming. So, yeah, so I'm really actually comfortable. I've got a nice little routine. I'm getting stuff done. I'm getting more productive by the day. I've started going to the studio. Now, with regards to the legalities of going to the studio, only businesses that have been shut down in the UK are ones which the public gather at. So restaurants, pubs, gyms, event halls, weddings, you know, all that sort of stuff. So my studio doesn't apply. There's only me in my studio and only I go in my studio. So as a risk, yeah, it's minimal. Now, okay, going to the studio building, is that a risk? Yeah, you could say that's a minor risk with surfaces, but my studio is right next door to the dude who's what's responsible for cleaning the studio, and he's gone mad freak on COVID. Yeah, I mean, he's really gone. So I know absolutely fine that everywhere up to his studio is fine. And my studio is only 2 more steps. And I'm the only one who touches that doorknob. And I'll be wearing a glove. So, yeah, I have no fear on that count. So legally, yeah, I'm fine. Legally, I can. I am doing everything I can to work from home. But obviously, I've got bits on the book to finish. I've got stuff I need to be in the studio. And to be perfectly honest, having the ability to go to Spode. Yeah, because I go to Spode in the evening, yeah, when no one else really goes there. And so the benefit of that is that I have the whole site to myself. So I can walk around the car parks, I can get some fresh air and exercise. Yeah, I can then go into a separate set of 4 walls that are my own. And so, you know, I'm doing okay, you know what I mean, with regards to being in isolation. And these live shows help greatly, to be perfectly honest. Absolutely brilliantly. I think because I've got something to look forward to and connecting with you guys, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. Although I am missing cake. I've got no eggs. Yeah, and they seem to still be... I've only been to the shop once, but they haven't been stocked back up. They're still sold out. Although I'm perfectly fine. I've got 12 rolls of toilet roll, and at the rate I use a roll of toilet roll, that should do me until 2021. Unless the kids come over for a weekend, in which case it's probably going to last till midday on the Saturday. It's only 12 rolls. Those going nuts in your four wheels. Sit on your stoop iron in the morning and have your morning coffee. It is still staying at home. Those of us blessed with a yard or a porch can use them. I found myself standing on my doorstep, to be truthful, just opening the door to the world, letting the fresh air in and just seeing the world. I mean, it's really quiet on my street, but there's a busier street just further down that you can see, and you can still see cars moving, and it's reassuring. You know, I wouldn't like to be in a cul-de-sac where nothing happens, nothing at all. Jason's saying, I've got eggs, mate. I'm all right at the minute. They use applesauce in place of eggs. No, thank you. I didn't like large gatherings of people to begin with, so no difference here. I think us terrain makers, we are an isolationist bunch, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? I do think that we sit back and we're very comfortable in, because I mean, terrain making, the making of terrain, is, unless you're doing it with your kids or with your mates, a lot of it is very solitary. We do it to relax. Leslie BT, yeah, Leslie from BT. She says they've got loads of eggs. I'm thinking of getting a chicken. I think I'm getting a chicken. Here starts survival mode. I'm living off the land, folks. In the centre of Stoke, that's not going to happen. France seized several tons of medical material that was going to Sweden, Italy and Spain because they now do that, allow them to do so. I've also heard of deals going off between other countries because people have been outbid. I've heard of countries telling their manufacturers they can't sell overseas. Any shortages of fresh items at the grocery stores? To be perfectly honest, the only one I really took note of was eggs and bananas. I like bananas, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, they're my favourite fruit. And one of the things that I've been doing to get more healthy is eating more fruit and veg and making sure that I do the 5 a day thing. And actually, right, do it. You know what I mean? Or do your best to do it. I mean, you have cheat days and sometimes like that. But I've always found bananas to be great, and they're great energy food as well, and not a single one in sight in my local stores. They've got bread in, that bread's flowing, milk's flowing fine, eggs, they're disappearing. Haven't seen pasta yet, to be truthful, and it was one thing that I didn't stock up on because I'm not a fan of it, but I should actually stock up on at least some for the kids. Simple Simon's been delving into Black Library on and off. Yeah, I must admit. I've been reading a lot of books. I've been reading a book about colour harmony. Just so it takes me away from my hobby. Because the problem at the minute, yeah, is I could read 40k when I was doing D-Day boards and stuff like that. But now I'm playing Kill Team. Whenever they describe something, I go off on build mode. So I've had to step away from the Black Library books at the moment. And so I'm reading books on colour harmony. Pasta is flour and water, no big deal. I know. I could make it myself, I suppose. We have our governors being outbid by our federal government. I thought we were actually yeah, that's just bizarre. I'm finding it hard to get kiwi fruit and quail's eggs at the moment. Mick's just saying Boris has just been admitted to hospital. Is that correct? Then again, they are saying obesity is a major factor, and he's a big fella, is Boris. Plus, you know, drug use and stuff like that can lower your immune system. But the cheeky Lord Chancellor. Poor Boris. Actually, no. That was bad of me. You shouldn't wish ill on anyone. But no doubt, yeah, the Prime Minister will be getting the most... I don't think he's going to have to worry about ventilator shortages or any shortages. I've heard bananas help with painting minis. Something about steadying your hands. Coffee, on the other hand, is the other end of the spectrum. You're not best drinking it prior to precision painting. I live on this stuff. No wonder I use a 2-inch house brush. Alterox saying, I know that feeling. Horus Heresy 3rd book, and I'm looking at my city terrain right now. Exactly, mate, exactly. Perhaps this will have a silver line of getting people away from processed and back to cooking and baking with biscuits. That would do so much for everyone's health. I like baking, to be truthful. I like making biscuits and cakes and stuff like that. And I'm even thinking of going down the road of baking bread. Yeah, not because of some wholesome rubbish. Yeah, but here's the thing. As a single man, yeah, my loaf goes off before before I'm even a third of the way through. And I know you're going to say freeze it, but I've got a teeny tiny little freezer. Yeah, and seriously, yeah, with the space a loaf will take up to take out slices of bread. So what I'm thinking is, yeah, learn to bake bread, yeah, and just get really quick at it, because I am, yeah. I can bang together, I can do all the work to do a full on, you know, Sunday dinner with Toad in the Hole, yeah, and it only takes me 15 minutes work time, yeah, so I can mix bread up pretty bloody easy, yeah. So I'm thinking, make mini loaves. Now I don't know. Now here's the thing: do I make them with them laying flat? Yeah, and slice them that way. Do I make them standing but really narrow? I mean, I don't even know. Can you get mini loaf, Put £200 worth of 40k bits in a basket on my eBay last night as I got the itch back. It's an awful itch, isn't it? Buy a bread maker. No, my kitchen's quite small. I don't want to, I don't want another machine in there, if you know what I mean, that sits on a shelf most of the time. I just want to make my bread and throw it in the oven. Here in Germany, we have everything in the shops. I have toilet paper, noodles. It's just a little bit harder to find it. I think we've got I don't think we're going to have any problems with all the common essential foodstuffs and that sort of stuff. I think it's just the supply chains adjusting to the peak of demand, and you know, it's been a bit stuttery as they get things back in the shops. I think I think some of the rarer, more specialist items will become discontinued, to be truthful, moving forward. I mean, there's a lot of wastage in shops, and I think you'll see a push to be like, right, you know, we'll stock things that... So when I'm saying the rarer stuff is like all the little cakes that they make, all the stuff that they must throw away at the end. I can see those getting cut back. Yes, you can buy the small cake bins. Perfect. Everyone has a bread maker. It's called Hands. Yeah. Tanya's saying, I haven't seen a roll of toilet paper for 4 weeks. Really? Tanya, you being serious? I'll post you one if you need one, mate. Fresh bread is awesome. I'll send you my favourite recipe. I always slice my bloomers horizontally and my tin loaves vertically. Bloomers sliced vertically are awesome for bacon sandwiches. See, I'm liking this, and I'm getting hungry. Add them to your Amazon wish list, small pans, and maybe some fairy cooking will buy them for you. Do you know what? I am. TTT Technicals. Go on then, Cat. We'll have a giggle. I've got Amazon open here. Yeah. Everyone in the chat's sending Tanya bog roll. Yeah, so small loaf pans. Oh, I like those. Set 4. I only need one, don't I? 15 centimeters by 9. Actually, it's about that. Yeah, that'll do. Ooh, I don't know. They're nicer, though. I don't see the size, though. All the ones I want, yeah, aren't prime. Git. I'm not paying that much. Even if I'm not paying it. Come on, where are you? 4 pieces. What size are you? Come on. 14 by 6. Then again, it's a multi-pack. I could make a couple of loaves and keep the other ones airtight. That could work. Who knew bread would be such a problem? I'm going to add it to my list. There you go. And that, there you are. It is a Sunday. If you'd like to treat Mel, take Prime 30 days free and cancel. I've got Prime anyway. Because I do the Twitch thing and that sort of stuff, and because I do order a lot of technical stuff, Amazon having the wish list and everything, Prime just makes sense for me. Plus, you know, it's there's quite a lot of documentaries on Prime and that sort of stuff, so, and books, and you know what I mean. So I quite like it. Right, people are sending. Right, Gary's playing Monopoly. Thanks, Mel. You said about Amazon delaying your orders, so I checked my status. What was supposed to come Tuesday showed up today. I think what you call it, it might work like that. I've had an item like that where they said it'll be here Sunday, and then all of a sudden this mic turned up earlier when I had to sort of say you've lost it. It hasn't turned up. Yeah. So. I've lost my train of thought now. You've delayed me. So yeah, I think Amazon, the dates on Amazon at the minute, I think are, this is where we'll say we can deliver it by. But if we can deliver it sooner, let's deliver it. We in Germany have a fist fight because of toilet paper sometimes. You have to fight over bog roll. Mel, what thickness of MDF do you recommend for a base for a larger terrain piece? 60 by 90 centimeters. Pretty typically, I'll go for 6mm up to about 18. Yeah, sorry, 18 inches. Yeah, so roughly 45 centimeters. So you really want to be stepping up for something like that. You want to be stepping up to about 9mm, mate. Yeah, it obviously depends what you're building on top of it as well. But, you know, you are talking about a piece like that. That will naturally bow. Yeah, if it's 6mm. So I'd go 9 for that. Mel, coronavirus toilet paper mystery explained. When one person sneezes, 10 people crap their pants. True. We needed a TTT baking apron on the merch site. Well, tell you what, stop rushing on the merch. We've got plenty of merch. I've seen some toilet paper on eBay for €35 each. See, this is what we need to do to get out of austerity for Britain. We've got loads of bog roll. Let's sell it to the Germans for ventilators. See? Mel gets into politics again. We have toilet roll. We've got lots of toilet roll. You're talking about the nation that created the crapper. And we did. And in fact, Yeah, it was Stoke. Crapper came from Stoke. We still make, Stoke-on-Trent is still responsible for making the majority of the toilets in the world. I'm not joking. It's something we're famous for in this city. They're made of porcelain. We're the potteries. You should get on your Terrainiacs to make loo roll, Mel. Can you imagine that as a crafting tutorial? How to make toilet roll. I don't see... Look, let's be honest. If you're running low on toilet paper, yeah, hang your backside over the edge of the bath. Run the water nice and well, not too hot. Yeah. It is hygienic. It's clean. It washes away. And to be perfectly honest, it's probably a little bit cleaner than smearing it with a bit of like dry paper. I think the best bum wipes I've ever had were baby wipes. You've never experienced freshness until you've wiped your bum with a baby wipe. Although, it's a bit, woo! Alternatively, there's newspapers called The Sun. If you want to be motivated for building down your terrain backlog, Steve, this is not the show for you tonight. I don't even know how we've got into this conversation. Wasn't the crapper invented by someone named Crapper? Yeah. Mel, that was a crappy story. Yeah. I wash my ass in the shower, survival style. See. 5'7" knows what he's doing. Baby wipe fresh. You see, Alan's been there. If you've had kids, there's always the point where there's no bog roll, but there's a baby wipe, and there's that first time it's like, why have I not been doing this before? Why is the toilet called a John? It's not in the UK. We don't call it. We call it the crapper, or the shit house, or the toilet, or the bog. What are other names in the UK for toilets? Don't flush wipes. I know you don't flush wipes. Thank you, Henry. Michael, no. Always save the corner. Fold and save the corner. I keep my nails trimmed rather low. Just make sure they're baby wipes and not the bleach multi-surface cleaners. Actually, I have read online on Facebook that bleaching your nether regions was a thing for a while. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen it. So, who knows what state might need lightening up. Then again, I don't know who's ever going to see it. The chat can really go every which way. It really can, can't it? But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter which way the chat goes. The matter is, we're having a laugh while we do it. And that's the point of this show, ultimately. Remember, guys, those endorphins. Lou, Bog, Crapper, Little Boy's Room, Lav, WC, Big White Telephone to God. Oh, yeah, we've all spoken to God on the big white telephone. Oh, God, never again. We were lying to God, weren't we? Alan's saying bleaching was an adult entertainment thing. It wasn't in the UK. The local salons around Stoke were offering it, mate. So trust me. Yeah, it was definitely within the normal realms of what ladies do at these beauty places in the UK. Other than the idea, I have no idea how the process goes. And you know what I mean? The physio on me, yeah? It's like, clinically, how are you doing that? From a body position? On all fours? Up? Then again, there'd be a contamination, because you'd actually, better on your back, your legs up. Yeah. No. Mel, do you think that was the original reference for the Golden Throne? Yes. I absolutely do. Because I look back at who was running GW when the Golden Throne was created. Yeah. And if you look at the Rogue Trader rulebook, it's full of filth. It's absolutely full of filth. Subtle, but it's there. Yeah. You read the lines at the bottom of the pages and stuff like that. Mm. Oh, calm down. Let's not get political now. It always causes a drama. Vajazzling is a thing also. Yes, we've had that in the UK. And Cat's going in and big cat. Does anyone please have any terrain questions? The Emperor has been constipating for 10,000 years. I'll be honest with you guys, this show's gone to shit. Cat's there. Toilet terrain. Cat will be there going, this isn't the show I wanted. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact is, yeah, we've got smiles, we're laughing. We know we're going to be doing terrain tomorrow because that's the full plan. Yeah, what we want is humour. We want a bit of a laugh. Yeah, and let's be honest. Bear's saying, I feel sorry for Cat. Best technique for airbrushing. I reckon probably what you call it with your head down there, mate. I wonder how good that mic is. Mel, have you had any luck getting flocked lately in the lockdown? Bear saying stop it. I'll try. Thoughts on dry brushing with dry brushing versus sponge brushing for highlighting stone. In all honesty, Brooks, it depends on the stone texture. Dry brushing will work really well if it's a jagged stone with a lot of ridges and raises. That will capture the dry brush. Otherwise, you get this sort of blend and smear. Yeah, so stippling works on flatter stones like slate and stuff like that, and it's a good way of getting a broken up surface across a wide area, yeah, such as the flat surfaces on rocks. But dry brushing works really well for anything really jaggedy. Imagine it this way: you would dry brush a rock, but you would stipple a pebble. Yeah, if that makes any sense. For the best rocks, stipple first. Go in with a light dry brush afterwards to highlight the edges. See how quickly we went from toilet humour to terrain then. Terrain question. Mel, I've never made terrain before, but I'm envisaging a modular table that will take 2x2 tiles, up to 4x8 maximum, with different theme tiles. Okay, Sergeant? Alright, as a starter, would a single 2x2 tile be a good start, not actually connecting to any large board? Yes. Yeah. In fact, I would recommend that you start with a single 2x2 and you start with a couple of 1x1 tiles. I would play around with what you want to achieve on the 1x1 tiles. I would then pull it off on the 2x2 tile and then use that 2x2 tile as a template for my build style moving forward. Imagine, because we build in stages, imagine if you got to a stage on the tile down the flocking stage where you've something that you've done and you wanted to do doesn't make it modular or doesn't work across the entire board. Yeah, but you can't back away. So you're in a situation where if you've done all the tiles, you buggered all the tiles. If you start off and get one tile great, perfect, and how you want it, you can roll from there without worrying about having to step back other tiles. Yeah, you've got something that you want to go for. Another thing is you've also got to remember that when you're doing a build, yeah, your building ability will increase, yeah, as you do it. I mean, your practical skills, you'll get better at it, so that if you I've known in many projects I've done where I'm doing new techniques, I'll often have to go back, say after I've been doing a certain washing technique, yeah, I'll have to go back to the very start of where I started doing that washing technique, clean it up and bring my start work up to speed with the work I finished at, and basically bring it all in level, because the quality improves through practice. When you do big boards and you do fine detailing on them, yeah, you're doing a lot of fine detailing, your skills improve. So you have to bring it up. By using a separate test board, what you're effectively doing is you're getting your skills up to a set standard on there. I don't know why I'm doing my airbrush pose. This isn't Kung Fu. Yeah, when I'm airbrush, right. Remind me about how I airbrush after this, but I want to finish the tile question. Yeah, so by having a couple of 1x1 test tiles, you can test out looks and get a feel for what you're doing. You can practice and get your proper look on your 2x2 tile, and then your levels will be at a certain place, yeah, set for when you roll into your board. Yeah, so that's my answer to that question. The next one I'd very quickly want to mention is airbrushing, and I'll just grab a bit of terrain for this point. Yeah, in fact, no, I'll grab that can. Okay, can. Yeah, turn it down. Yeah, just to show you. Right. The reason why I do this weird hand thing, yeah, when I talk about airbrushing and that sort of stuff, is I'm left-handed, I hold my airbrush in this hand, yeah, to steady it, and this also applies to painting, yeah. I usually have a can or a paint pot, yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll hold on to the pan, yeah, can or pan or paint pot, can or paint pot, pan. Do you know why I'm saying pan? The bloody bread pans are still open here. Let me shut that. So I'll put my hand on there, I'll put my elbow on a surface, and this gives me a solid brace. And so what I can do is when I'm doing my painting and that sort of stuff, yeah, quite often when I'm building on, like, you know, so for example, if I was going to paint this, yeah, with, where's my paint bloody brush? Oh, there. So let's say for a moment I'm going to paint this, yeah. Now if I come along and I'm sort of freehand, yeah, I'm painting and there's a lot of movement there, especially if I'm trying to like really be precise on something. Not the best brush for it. It's a dusting brush. I use it for pigments and that sort of stuff. Oh, I'm getting buzzed. Right, anyway. Yeah, the reason why I use this technique is by bracing my hand on the can, putting my elbow on the table. This is braced, which means I can rest the crook of my wrist, yeah, this bit here, yeah, just after your thenar eminence and your hypothenar eminence. Surface anatomy, people, remember your surface anatomy, your bony points. Yeah, rest that in the crook, and I have so much more precision control, because the only movement now is purely coming from this wrist hand here, yeah. And by putting the carpals, yeah, and interlocking them into the scapoid. What's that called? That's the fossa. What's it called? Oh, I can't remember now. Too many terms, 20 years ago. Some of them stick, some of them are floating around there. But by basically locking it like that, so that little notch, yeah, into this sort of little dip here, your snuff box. The anatomical snuff box, that's what it is. Snuff, that's how they used to take snuff back in the day. They used to put, it's basically two tendons. It's the extensor tendon. Oh, I can't, no, I'm not even going to try on those. There's like I can't even remember, but there's something like extensor, flexor, medial, lateral. I can't, not even. I'm not going there. Right, but if I put that bumpy bit, yeah, into that dippy bit, yeah, it becomes locked. Yeah, and from that, yeah, and also it's incredibly comfortable. You can keep it going for quite a while. You can roll it round, you can ledge it slightly over so that bumpy bit, the hypothema eminence, yeah, is resting on the carpals, which is above, yeah. But it's a great way for doing, and it works with airbrushing as well, yeah. There's no reason why you can't airbrush like this, because it stays this sort of thing. Yeah? Right. That was a quick tip for you. Remember, guys, if you do find these things helpful, links down below. And I bet I'm getting buzzed, so that's probably my Jace. What have I done wrong? There we are. Oops. Okay. Sorry, kid stuff. Right. Right. Where are we? Oh, I need to not bang the desk. Okay, let's find some terrain questions. But next one, terrain question. I notice you usually use watered down PVA and an airbrush to seal flock. Would a spray adhesive work just as well for the lack of an airbrush? No, a spray adhesive wouldn't work. A spray adhesive is not a sealant. Yeah. First, it won't soak in like watered down PVA and bond everything. Secondly, it will leave your terrain tacky. Okay, just spray your watchlet. Yeah, just get yourself an atomizer. I'm not asking that one, Dan. No, I'm not going to tell you how to make a miniature toilet. Ever used textured masonry paint on a lot in White Dwarf magazines? Not how you would give a building concrete a rough appearance. MDF are great, but smooth, so don't look real. There's a couple of ways of making texture gloops, mate. Yeah, you don't need masonry paint. You can throw some filler in some paint and that'll give it a fine texture. You can throw chinchilla dust in. There's plenty of videos in my buildings playlist on that and showing how it looks. So just go and have a nose there. The Daily Mail could be the name for the terrain newspaper. Good evening to all the Quarantinians. Mel, terrain question for you. I've bought some Gorilla Glue. It supposedly expands to the stuff you're joining. Any tips or advice on using the stuff? Do you know, Alex, I actually can't, because I've always looked at the price of Gorilla Glue and gone, nope, way too expensive for my tastes. So I've never actually used it. Okay? So I can't give you any tips on that one, to be perfectly honest. Mel, the YouTube messages have stopped updating. Yes, it would appear that our YouTubers have stopped. I have got the YouTube stats somewhere. Where is it? I have got their messages as well, so we can see them. So don't worry, YouTubers, I can see your posts. Yeah, Gorilla Glue is actually a foam and it's water activated. Yeah, I just need to get a bottle and have a play with it. Jace uses it quite a lot. I'm going to let Jace handle that one in the comments, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm just going to, top this up. Yeah? Right, I'll be back in 2 moments once I've refreshed my... I've been talking a lot, so I've got a bit of a dry throat, so need a drink. Right, back in a sec, guys. And we're back. Let's see if that figures the stream out. Right. Like Mr. Water with polyurethane glue can help, though risk of rot and mold. See, that sort of things doesn't, it doesn't sort of instill confidence in me. Right, YouTube comments are back on the screen, so it's all working again, nicely. Yes. Red Green, hello mate. It's hard to beat the price at a dollar store. Pound Town, if you prefer. That place is more of a euphemism to us. Even our pound stores aren't pound stores anymore, to be perfectly honest. Hey Mal, I've got a terrain question. I'd like to know how about creating a gritty wasteland texture along the lines of the GW texture paints for 2x2 board. I thought filler might work, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a mixture of paint, filler and aggregates, mate. Yeah, just mix it up. Yeah, use the paint to thin the filler and the aggregates down. So throw the aggregates in the filler and then just add the paint until you get it, where you want it. Yeah, house paint is a good thinner, and then acrylic paint is a good colour. Have you ever used insulation board for terrain? If you're talking about Kingspan, the yellow stuff with silver on, I've played with it a bit, but it's not polystyrene, it's polyurethane. So I'm not a big fan of it. To be perfectly honest. Any more terrain questions now I've wet my whistle? Mel, Gorilla Glue is a polyurethane wood glue. It's cheap on eBay. I never wet, but have some great uses with foam board and wooden bases. Has less warping. Just need to weigh it down. Right. Mel, we add some non-G-Talic and Mantic bits to the build. For example, a toy crane or perhaps an old Playmobil train set. A factory build needs to be bigger than 28mm trains to move all the stuff. My plan is all sorts. I mean, to be perfectly honest, with the Kill Team board, one of my plans was to add loads of toys and stuff to it. Yeah, and I was just getting myself to the stage of ordering all the bits for it and getting ready to go to the car boot sales, which are like American get flea markets and stuff like that, or American garage sales. But in Britain, we take all our cars to a field and we lay out tables, and then we have a big market in a field. It's a British thing, but it's called a car boot. Yeah, you're literally selling from your car boot. And my plan was to go to the car boots and just raid, yeah, for all broken toys and, you know, industrial stuff. But clearly, we've gone into lockdown. Tudor house behind me, that's the Stoic Arms from Foreground. Is there going to be a cake mutton? I don't know what a cake mutton is. Mel, I sent you a PayPal yesterday. Did you get it? I think I did, mate. Let me jump on PayPal and just check. I don't think I've had any tonight, but I've had a lot of emails. Modular terrain channel. Right, okay. Okay, very quickly, let me just check from yesterday. Make sure it definitely went through. Yes, you did. Oh, bloody hell, mate. 25 quid. Thank you, dude. Thank you, Mel. I've learned a lot from your vids. Do what you want with it. Tools or booze. Greetings from France. Maxime H. Thank you, dude. That must, in fact, yeah, that dropped just after the stream. Thank you, buddy. Right, so where are we? That drops us down to 110. Nice. Right. Stale clay plus liquid acrylic. Hills. Yeah, that could work. You might have an interesting smell after a while. You non-Brits need to turn on YouTube subtitles to understand us. Should try and sneak a pallet of toilet roll on the board somewhere as a memento of the times. I will watch Gullet. I will be honest with you. The toilet roll being the crisis through all of this says everything, doesn't it? Says absolutely anything. So, any more terrain questions for me, folks? And a pasta box too. What? Yeah, but I need toilet rolls for terrain. Well, I don't think there's going to be a lack of toilet rolls. There's plenty of toilet rolls going along. The iconic symbol of isolation, toilet paper. Yeah, your Kill Team board needs to be an Adaptus Mechanicus Toiletus. Or doing a sewerage processing plant. Alex is saying, thanks for your videos. They've been a great help. No worries, bud. No worries at all. Mel doesn't speak plain English. He speaks whatchamacallit English. He does. He speaks the Mel's English. It flips between basically not knowing simple words to advanced medical terminology. Terrain question. Thinking of making some winter terrain. Have you used the Woodland Scenics tree armatures? Thinking of making some pine woodland scatter? Yes, I have, mate, and they are good. I do like them. They could do with a bit of painting up or a few washes, because they're a bit play brown colour, if you know what I mean, toy brown, shall we say, rather than a proper brown. So a wash over them is all that's needed at the bare minimum. They do stick well, they do bend well. I highly recommend after you've adhered it with the Hobby Tack, the Stay Tacky latex glue. Yeah, you give them a soak of watered down PVA to properly bond them together. But yeah, woodland armatures are very nice. I've got a question. I've got a town scene on my railroad layout and I want to put a cobblestone road in for it. Do you have any advice? I have polystyrene as the base at the moment. You can engrave onto HD polystyrene, but cobblestones are best done with wallpaper, embossed wallpaper. Yeah, just go to your local supplier. There will always be, if you do a bit of digging around for embossed cobblestone wallpaper or bubble wallpaper, make sure your scales are roughly right, and all you've got to do is basically spray adhesive on the back of it, cut it to the road size you want, spray adhesive, stick it down, and then once it's down, I find it's best to for best results, paint it with an airbrush, so it's a no-touch technique. But you can, as long as you're not too heavy and your paint isn't too watery, you can just paint it normally, and as soon as it's painted, it's hard and it's tough and it's perfect. Mel, no building today? No, I'm just having a chat today, to be perfectly honest. Alex is saying Hobby Tack is useless on the armatures, however. I completely disagree. I get great results with Hobby Tack. The trick with Hobby Tack is to make sure that you apply it as thinly as possible. Yeah, no blobs whatsoever. You've pretty much got to apply it, then take off every little bit of excess. Yeah, and then leave a thin layer that will dry very quickly to clear, and it'll be sticky for years. The issue with Hobby Tack is when it's too thick, it takes days to dry. Yeah, and it won't dry too thick. It just doesn't. Have you ever made cobbles using Das clay? No, I've seen people do it with lentils and stuff like that. I attempted that once and gave up halfway through like an 8-inch road section on the first one. It was like, no. Joe's asking, how far do you reckon you are from slapping some paint on that build? Quite a reasonable bit, yeah. I'd say it's only halfway through built, yeah. I find clump falls off. Well, that's it can fall off, but that's why I recommend doing a watered PVA seal first afterwards, because that'll seal it as well. Have you used the wallpaper cobblestone texture stuff as walls for a building to make a foam board building look like rock brick? I have done in the past, and I know plenty of people have, and there's some even really nice brick patterns, out there if you go hunting enough. By days, Mel's means years drying time on thick Hobby Tack. I do. There's some of it will never dry if you apply it thickly. James is saying, have you seen Green Stuff's rollers for cobbles? Yes, I have, and I've tested them out on the channel. Curious, what was the largest tabletop build you've done? To be truthful, most of my builds are 6x4, and they're large. I always do large builds. I mean, the tallest has got to be that Frostgrave City. with the ruined temple on top of the massive hill with the cave inside. Yeah, that I did for Salute a few years ago. I mean, that had a three, almost 4 foot height on it. Have you had any viewer submitted Greeblies yet? Someone sent me some PDFs. Yeah, we'll see where we go. Mel looks like a... Yeah. Have I got a shadow from this plastic bit? Kat's saying she's done both. Oh, no, not Kat. Yeah, we're good on that count. Alright. How many terrain pieces do you actually have built? God knows. God knows over the years. Because I've built for clubs and all sorts, and I've been building most of my life. How far did the Burma kit get? Burma kit's doing all right. It's still at the studio. Yeah. We've got to do the roads on it next, but I'll pick that up after we get out of lockdown. Mel, if you consider doing a live build along with us, something small that we can get other bits for. Yes, I have. It's an idea that we've had in the past. And to be perfectly honest, it's something I want to do, but for it to work properly, yeah, it has to be really well organised, and we're not at that stage yet. Yeah, so I don't want to start that until I've got my proper live set up in the studio. I'm used to doing this stuff. I'm used to doing graphics with instructional stuff on. Do you know what I mean? Because it'll be a lot more than just a live show, that one will. But I've got an idea for it. Yeah, and we'll roll into that. Yeah, Mel talks about his Burma board in terms of tables, not sections. I do. Bears off. Catch you later. When it comes, I mean, I have to settle into the fact, guys, that I am going to be the terrain tutor into old age. I'm happy. Yeah, I am a happy man. As long as I can keep sharing stuff and sharing my passion and doing this sort of stuff, and as long as good folks like you keep jumping on Patreon and, you know, supporting the ones that drop off and that sort of stuff and keeping it balanced. You know, I don't need to be rich. I don't need a big house. Yeah, I quite like a small cozy home. And I like the fact that my job is helping you with my hobby. Our hobby. King Terrainius. No. Serendipity. Serenity. Mel, have you considered running terrain making courses on Skillshare? There's lots of things. I've considered workshops and all sorts not. Yeah, but above all, yeah, I've got to get the book finished. Yeah, and then I've got to get my channel to where it needs to be before I take on any more adventures. Yeah. I've been distant from the channel, and there's been good reason. You know what I mean? It's dragged on, but there's been ill health and there's been things in my personal life, and you know, a lot of people understand that, and some of them people are getting impatient, and that's just the way of life. I understand that. Yeah, but we are finishing it. But I don't want to go charging into new areas until one, I've fulfilled my commitments that I had. Yeah. Two, until I've got the channel back to, in fact, not back to where it was, but back to, or to where I wanted it to be, with regular terrain vids, a regular schedule, because it was even before the book a little bit up and down. Yeah. So I'm using this time in lockdown to plan, you know what I mean? All sorts. So I'm happy, and I'm happy with the idea of this could be me into my retirement. Yeah, because terrain making I can do. My eyes are still good. Yeah, My hands are pretty damn steady, to be perfectly honest. A lot steadier than they've been in a long time. Yeah, so... I'm a happy Mel. Still, health-wise, still got a few areas to improve on and that sort of stuff, but it's a journey. You know what I mean? It's not a light switch you can flick. It'll take me a little while to get my weight back on and take me a little bit while to get my fitness back. But to be perfectly honest, Mel's a happy man. Mel, when do you start building terrain? As a youth? Yeah. Some of my earliest memories, mate. You look content, Mel. I am. I don't know. I don't know why it is. I mean, I'm not seeing the kids at the minute, and that is a little bit upsetting. But, there's sense there, and we're talking about it as a family, about minimising risks and stuff like that. And that's family stuff, and it'll sort out. The whole world's having a wobble. And the thing is, the world is having a wobble in a way I understand. Yeah. I find, I'll be honest with you, because I've been trying to get myself back on my feet from my health and all that sort of stuff. I've got very comfortable in these four walls. Yeah, so the idea of being locked down, the actual... No worries. It's what you mean. April, end of March, and and start of April are going to be like January and February. All right, I can live with that. I've got you guys, I've got my terrain, I've got things to do in the house. Yeah, so yeah, I am very content to be. I mean, look at me, I'm sliding down my chair. But yeah, I am, On the bright side, as you get older and start the dating scene, you got access to and skills in the flocking to cover your bald spot. The dating scene. I don't even know if I'm going to bother. Yeah, it only brings drama. And if I do enter the dating scene, whoever's going to have me is going to have to accept me for who I am. So I ain't changing anything. Okay, Tim's asking, would you do a thin coat of filler on the foam and then texture the filler? No, typically if it's HD foam, I'd just texture the foam. Just keep wearing that t-shirt. I thought, to be perfectly honest, guys, on the dating thing, nah. Nah. It's just too much drama. Love me, love my terrain, Mel. No. Just like me for who I am, mate. I'm a special sort of special. It's been all right. Rextra's asking how long have we been split up? We are just over 5 months now. He doesn't need a woman. He's got Kat, Tam, and Tanya to keep him in line online, and me to keep him in line in real life. Fair one, Mel. You're one top bloke. Thank you, buddy. We are a way too logical lot. We are a way too logical lot for that drama. No, I think that's just the way it rolls. I mean, it's rather a personal area to wander into, but we are in Isolation's reach, and these shows have been a little bit different. I think maybe in the future, if I could find a friend I can roll some dice with and has common interests. But with regards to building another family and a love of my life and all that sort of stuff, nah. I've done 20 years. Yeah. In fact, it would have been my 20-year anniversary this month. 3 days. 8th of the 4th. 2000. Damn, that's a long time. So no, I'm not diving into any relationships or anything long term. To be truthful, rather than dating, I would rather spend my energy building up a good collection of friends. Because I think emotionally and all round, I think a good bunch of friends and a varied bunch of friends, not just like one little group that different people and different thoughts, all that sort of stuff. I think that's healthier. Have you tried flocking using ground cork? Yes, and funnily enough, I was doing that. What you got on Friday? Like I said, mate, I'm moving to Loggerheads. I'll get back gaming in you when I'm allowed a man cave. Time for us to talk about cake. Yeah, I'd like cake. No, I'm Theodora. I'm not reading that. Flocking friends with benefits. Yeah, good friends are all you can ask for at the end of the day. True. The rest, I'll just see where life takes me. You know what I mean? I mean, my kids are in my life and they'll always be in my heart. They're growing up, I mean, I know, okay, 14 and 12, but they're growing up. You know what I mean? Any tips on drying cork rocks to use as rubble? Drying them? I'm not sure what you mean about that question. Shame he's got me instead of good friend then. Yeah, true, Joe. Jace. The spice must flow. Dyeing, not drying. Oh, dyeing it. Acrylic inks work best, but pretty typically I just paint it. I stick it down and I paint it. Right, shall we not talk about wives or anything like that? She is my friend and all that sort of stuff. The mother of my children, with me for the rest of my life. So, well, for the children's lives. But what I'm basically saying is, yeah, for me, I'm just going to quite happily sit back. You see, it's quite strange, in all honesty, and taking aside, my personal life, because my personal life has been a bit, with health and so everything, moving house and everything has been a bit up and down, But fundamentally, yeah, this lockdown, this world panic, it's calmed the world for me, And I'm ticking along and I'm just looking at it as just, I'll see how things go. I mean, too much can change to worry too much about the future right now. We don't know what sort of future we're going to get. I mean that honestly, on the basis that we haven't even talked about COVID-20 yet. I mean, there's none of our other problems have gone away. Something else might come along. A volcano might go off. Yeah, so I'm not going to worry too much about the future. I'm just going to take it day by day, week by week. I've got jobs to do. I've got commitments to fulfill. Yeah. And I'm doing those on the basis that, well, I'm hoping we're going to come out of this in a pretty good place, considering the situation. Okay? I've said it before, we ain't going to come out of this without a scar. Yeah? How bad of a scar? That's going to depend on, a multitude of factors. And some people's scars will be larger than others. And some countries' scars will be larger than others. But we will all have a scar from this. Yeah? But, later in saying, but ultimately, we don't know what the future's bringing. I'm starting to see some sense in politics. So, I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, I'm just going to take it day by day because that's all you can do, and that's all I recommend. Day by day, look at, what can you do in the day? And keep an aim on, where you're going with it. Now is the time to search out the back shelves and find those things you bought for later. Let's see them built or painted. Very true, Kat. Very true. Is there any chance you'll ever delve into dedicated 10mm terrain other than basic techniques? Actually, I could be doing some quite a few 6mm things. Yeah, I just, right. I can't tell you. Can I tell you? If I keep it vague enough. Well, obviously we've got what's going on, yeah, but after what's going on, if things are still the norm, yeah, I'll be helping a regiment in the army to design some battle boards for their briefing rooms. Yeah, it's 6mm scale. NATO scale it's called, 6mm is. Yeah, well actually, it varies, right. US NATO scale is 1/300th. UK and European NATO scale is 285th. And that's the actual NATO scale for their battle maps. Yeah. Now, I cannot tell you anything about what it possibly could be. Yeah. Other than it's a training area. Yeah, but I can't tell you which training area or anything like that, or what regiment or where I'll be or anything like that. But it's basically to help them, when they're doing their training. Yeah. Now, I don't believe I'm going to be able to film it or anything like that, but I will be doing a lot. So what I might see if I can do is just say, right, see if I can get even if it's a 4x4 in a corner, and set that up for filming. So as I'm helping, I will have a team helping me. Yeah, I'll lead a team of soldiers. Yeah, and we have quite a few tables to build. Quite a few. Yeah. And so, And so, I might be able to, as I'm doing and helping them on those tables while they're cracking on little bits, I can do a little bit on perhaps my table as a demo table for them, and at the same time record the demo. Yeah. So, and that is that's as far as I'm going to go on that statement, because I can reasonably say that because the agreement and the payment for me doing this for the army, for this regiment, yeah, when we were negotiating the price, is one, yeah, they cover food and board. Yeah. My kids go with me because they're both cadets now, so they're coming with me. And also, yeah, they have to give my kids' cadet unit a really good jolly day with all their toys. Yeah, so that's my payment for helping them with their little project. Yeah, so Corbin Wills are going to have a blast, but all that's been put on sort of hold because the army's got other priorities, as we know. And I won't say anything more on that topic. Damn, Mal, you are the Bob Ross of terrain building. Haven't got the hair for it. Food and board, MREs and tent. No, I've insisted. Officer's mess. I've told the kids they've got to go in the block. And Dad'll wave to them from the officer's mess. Yeah, Willow. Well, Willow's really interested in the cadets, so she's been going along and getting a taster and that sort of stuff. She was technically going to be sort of... It goes on age and school position and that sort of stuff. But, you know, at the minute they've suspended all cadets because of the current situation. Sounds like a grand time for you and the kids. Yeah, and they, you know, I've made sure, you know, the cadets get a good jolly out of it. They're going to have a good jolly on this one. Mel, get an afro wig. No. Right. We are half past the hour and we're just rambling now. To be truthful, I'm getting a bit of a sore throat. It's just heating's dry air, talking a lot. Yeah, so I think I am going to wrap it up at the moment, to be perfectly honest. Now, I'll be honest with you, I see people shouting for more merch and different drawings. Look, guys, I have to pay Tanya for these drawings. I'd like to make the other ones that we've done so far, yeah, in the actual black before I commission any more. You know what I mean? So if you'd like more, you know, illustrations and that sort of stuff, buy the ones that I'm already selling. So on that, I'm going to leave you. Now you know how we end this show. Yeah, I will be back tomorrow. We will be building. I am back here 9 o'clock UK time every night through isolation, doing our isolation reach. Yeah, so feel free to come back. It is not just the Sunday nighter. It's the Monday nighter, the Tuesday nighter, the Wednesday nighter, the Thursday nighter, the Friday nighter, Saturday nighter, and then back to the Sunday nighter. Yeah. Now you know how we finish the show and you lot are already at it. Good, good, good. If you've had a good time, if you've had a smile on your face and you've enjoyed it, guys, yeah, give me a hell yeah in the comments. And that includes you guys who don't comment. Yeah, I like seeing all the new names. Come on, 10 taps, yeah. 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah, and a tap on the return key to put a smile on my face. I love you lot. You're a good bunch and you help put a smile on my face. Laters, folks. See you tomorrow.